Alright, welcome back guys to another Horror Room movie review, and today we have Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. This one came out in 1988 with a budget of $2,800,000 and made $19 million at the box office. So that's still fairly impressive, I would say.
Hitting them out of the park.
That's still a really low budget.
Yeah.
That's like 2 Paranormal Activities, really. And that's just a camera. So, yeah, this one's notable because it's the first appearance of Kane Hodder playing the role of Jason. So that's pretty cool.
Fan favorite.
Yeah, and I thought he did an awesome job. Before I get into the movie, I figured I'd go ahead and give my overall thoughts on it. And I thought it was a lot better than I expected, knowing it's about like this girl with telekinetic powers. I thought it would be kind of silly, and it is. I didn't care much for the ending. I thought that was absolute shit. But the rest of the movie was really good, so I did like this one. I thought this was a good Jason movie.
See, I liked how the way in this movie with Jason is able to just like manhandle people, the way he kills them.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I think that's really good. Kane Hodder brings that dynamic to Jason that I like.
Yeah, I thought he did an awesome job as Jason. Jason was brutal here. Very cool sequences. However, it does get a little goofy with that ending. I mean, that was just absurd.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll go ahead and get right into it. It opens up with this cool montage of what's happened in the previous movies.
Recap.
We see Jason's at the bottom of the lake, and we see a calendar that says it's Friday the 13th, and this man, he's hitting his wife, and his daughter takes off onto the lake. He tries to bring her back, and she uses her telekinetic powers to kill him, collapsing the bridge he's on, and he falls into the water, and I guess he drowns. Then we see her and her mom in the present time, and she's probably 10 years older at least.
Now, this is a very confusing timeline because,
Yeah.
like we said from the last movie, he's already been in this lake. And by the beginning of this movie, there's already this family that's here, and it doesn't say, like, how long it's been.
No, it's...
So there's like a big gap between this big question mark. So we'll just leave that alone, but okay. But we definitely know it's been like at least 10 years since like she's been a little girl.
The entire timeline thing is just... This one really screws it up even further because as we were talking about watching the movie, we don't know exactly when she lived on the lake as a child, but we know that Jason has killed people there. So why would they even be there in the first place? And
it's been in newspapers, on television.
Yeah.
People in these parts know about it. But still, there's a family that just decides to live on this lake.
And if she was on the lake when Jason was in the water because of the last movie where Tommy sunk him, then this movie's in the future again. So they keep jumping into the future.
Way in the future. It's already been way in the future before with the last, like, Tommy just, like, keeps getting older and older, like, every decade.
Yeah, he keeps getting older, so it's jumping in the future there. And then this is another jump, so it's like 2020 or something like that.
Yeah, man. Well, still, it's already Jason X.
Yeah. So, the reason she's going back to the cabin is she's got this doctor who wants to test her powers. He is a real villain, obviously, and he's taking her back. He tries to videotape her using her powers. He wants her to like move a matchbook. She finally moves it. It looks like crappy stop motion. This was so laughable.
It was really funny to look at.
She gets mad at the doctor for trying to force her to use her powers. She runs down to the lake, and I guess she senses a person in the lake. She thinks it's her dad, who she feels guilty about killing, but it's Jason. She revives him. He comes back to life, I guess.
Really? She, like, unhooks the chain. Like, I guess she's trying to pull him up from the bottom and just, like, breaks the chain so he automatically just comes up.
Which actually reminds me of something. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last movie, but Jason is strong enough to break a man in half with, like, one hand. Yet he can't break this chain around his neck. Seriously?
I mean, it's a pretty big chain, but he's got a point. We're already at the level where Jason's invincible. We already got to that point. It's just like how strong he is, really.
I mean, you can't stop him. He can only be immobilized, like putting him somewhere where he can no longer get free. That's really the only way to stop Jason. He's invincible, like you said. So she sets him free. She passes out. Her mom and the doctor take her back to the cabin. Jason didn't kill her for some reason. He just vanishes.
I guess he's just saying thank you. You know, I was really pissed being down there for so questionable amount of time.
Yeah, we have no idea. But we see these two kids. They're walking because their car broke down. The girl tells him that she was throwing a surprise party for him. And then we cut back to Tina. One of the kids who's at the party comes over to invite Tina to come to the party with them. Then we see the two kids in the woods again. Jason's out there. He kills the girl who was throwing the surprise party for her boyfriend with a knife to the throat. And then he chases the boyfriend and throws a knife in his back. Or that spiky thing.
Yeah. Should also mention you can visibly see Jason has been eaten alive by all the fish in the lake. His spine is showing. It's
very cool.
A lot of his like hands and fingers. You see bones and like even teeth in some scenes. I really like that.
Big Ninja Turtle teeth.
Dude, it's so funny. You have to make sure the viewer sees it.
It's like these gigantic Ninja Turtle teeth from the live action movies. It was ridiculous. And it doesn't make any sense why we see Jason's spine and all these bones, yet he's still completely jacked.
Completely
like muscles.
Jacked. And he's still breaking people in half, lifting arms like he's no thing. And it's just like, I think that says something about Jason. Because he's just such a BA guy right now.
Yeah.
He can have no meat or tendons and still just like know how to lift like a big old axe and just like chop you in half.
Yeah, and it definitely did look cool. I thought it added to Jason's character. So Tina gets to the party and we see all the people who are going to be killed, and there's a lot of people who are going to be killed. Tina has a vision of the birthday boy getting killed in the woods. She freaks out, leaves the party, runs back home, tells her mom what she saw. She tells the doctor that it's the man from the lake, and of course they don't believe her.
Don't believe her. I will say that the scene where she saw the death like while at the party confused the hell out of me. Like, yeah. I was in a conversation with this guy for like 10 minutes, and he was trying to explain to me what happened. It's just so confusing of a scene. And I was just, blew my mind.
I knew what they were going for. It was just a stupid, pointless scene, I thought. And it just confused people. So.
No, it really was stupid and pointless once I found out what it was. Oh, God.
So we see this couple camping in the woods. The guy goes to cut some firewood with his machete. So you know where this is going. All these people in the woods always have machetes. Even the people playing paintball in the last movie. It's just crazy. But he's out there cutting wood. Jason stabs his hand through him and breaks the guy's neck. This was a very cool scene, I thought.
Good scene. It is funny that he had to go in the woods, like way out in the woods, to get wood for the fire. But, you know, they're in the woods already. Why do you have to go even further out in the woods for timber?
Because he can't kill him in front of a witness, I guess.
I mean, I know why they're doing it for the film.
Yeah.
But honestly, why do you do that?
Logically, it doesn't.
Logically, it makes no sense.
So then he comes back to the tent. He kills the girl in the famous sleeping bag scene. He basically grabs her and beats her against a tree, and then we see her dead. However, looking this up online, I found out that there's actually an extended scene here, I guess they thought was too violent, where he actually repeatedly bangs the sleeping bag 6 times against the tree, and then we see her like covered in blood. But the version we watched on Netflix was 1 hit, and that was it.
Do it up.
So yeah, I just figured I'd include that little note there, but it was still a cool scene, I thought.
So if you're going to watch this film, you might as well get the best out of it and get that extra.
I don't even know where you would get it. Honestly, it
DVD
said it
would have it. DVD would obviously get some version.
Yeah, some version I'm sure you can find. So then we see Tina tells the guy, Nick, who she likes, why she's there. One of the girls, Melissa from the party, hears this. She's kind of a bitchy girl. She likes Nick, so she doesn't like Tina.
She's a crazy slut. That's the only thing. She's a crazy slut. She just wants to get banged by this one dude, and she's willing to screw over the other chick that she doesn't know just for that one reason. That makes her crazy slut.
And then I noticed that it's daylight. So what the hell? Like, it doesn't have to be Friday the 13th because they never specify, so I'm fine with that. They only specified it in the flashback when Tina was a kid. However, if it's daylight, why has no one wondered where the birthday boy is? They had the party last night, and now it's daylight, and no one wonders why he hasn't shown up yet. It was a really weird sequence of events here. This movie
no one questions anything. They're just like, okay, let's just keep going with our lives.
Yeah. So then we see this guy back at the party, or the cabin now. The party's over, I guess, and he's rolling these joints. And the only reason I wrote this down is the sheer amount of joints this man is rolling is enough for like each person at the party to get 2.
Yeah, dude, or more.
Or more. It was absurd.
Dude, he just kept rolling. It's like you could see a little pot, like a little pail with just piles of joints.
Yeah.
And he just kept rolling. It's like, not enough. That's not enough.
So we see the Melissa girl, the mean girl, at the party telling the others about Melissa. They're kind of making fun of her. She uses her powers to break Melissa's pearl necklace. And she heads back to the house. She gets in a fight with the doctor. Tosses a television at him. Takes off, finds Nick, tells him she wants to leave. He shows her a picture of his cousin, and which he has. And she says that that's the guy she saw killed in her vision. Then we see another girl skinny dipping. Jason kills this guy with an axe before he can join her, and then he just jumps out of the water and drags her down to the lake.
It's a good part, because he's outside of the lake, kills this dude, which he doesn't even scream. He waits like good 3 or 4 seconds before he actually Jason axes this guy, and he doesn't scream. He's just like in awe. He's like, oh my god.
Yeah, and you said he was dressed like Carlton.
Yeah, he was.
The Fresh Prince.
I kind of got a good Carlton vibe with his outfit.
Oh god, it was like pink pants, a white shirt, and then this green vest or sweater like around him. But yeah, he made no noise, and then the girl sees him and screams, and then Jason just jumps out of the water. I mean, for a slow, large guy with a hockey mask on, he is very stealth-like.
Yeah,
like Metal Gear Solid,
with like bone showing. Protruding, if you will, from his body.
So then we see the doctor. He wanders into the woods, finds the body of one of the kids, and he picks up the murder weapon.
He sees the body first. Let's just tell him the sequence of events here. Sees the body, sees the murder weapon, decides to pick up a murder weapon. Good call.
Yeah, and then he just drops it and walks away.
Yeah, this guy has a PhD.
So the mom back at the cabin while the doctor's gone, she finds evidence that the doctor's been keeping Tina's stress levels high because she can use her powers when she's emotional. So he's a total villain, like I said before.
So she uses it a lot, like once a month? Good few... Is that what he said? Okay,
cool. Yeah. So the doctor threatens to commit Tina once her mother brings this evidence to him. He says he'll commit her. Tina overhears this, steals the car, but then she has a vision of her mom getting killed by Jason, causing her to wreck the car. Then we see Jason killing another girl in the barn with a hook. This was a pretty good kill sequence. It didn't really show a lot. Some of these deaths had a lot that could happen. It could have been really good. There's a few more I'm going to mention later on, but this one could have been really cool. He like breaks through the wall of the barn, then breaks through with the other arm, and then cuts her with the hook. However, before you see him kill anyone or kill her, it like cuts away, and it's just kind of disappointing. But you can use your imagination, so yeah. I didn't think it was that bad. That could have been budget-related issues.
And usually when this happens, like in this movie at least, you got to see the body again, in some form or another later on.
Yeah, so you know what happened.
Yeah, you get to see it.
Then we see all the couples having sex. Jason kills the couple having sex in a van by crushing the guy's head. He just kind of grabs his head and smushes it.
There's like 3 couples like having intercourse right now, and Jason is just
at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time, and Jason just feels it happening at the moment. Like at that time, he walks up and he's just like, "Holy crap!" He looks in the windows, and that you see everybody just having sex.
Yeah.
So Jason has that sixth sense, if you will.
So then he kills the girl in the van by shoving a party favor into her eye. Tina and Nick find the birthday boy hanging in a tree. This is the same person that the doctor saw before.
They didn't even tell him happy birthday either.
Yeah. Jason cuts the power to the cabin, stabs the guy in the kitchen. Tina gets a gun out of the doctor's desk and finds papers on Jason. So the doctor clearly knew about Jason Voorhees ahead of time in the camp. Jason cuts another kid with a machete in the living room. One of the girls actually hears something in the closet, and it's a cat jumps out. And I enjoyed this because of the cats in the other movies.
Yes.
Not in every single one, but there's always a cat being tossed somewhere. And it was just funny to see this one. This one wasn't tossed though. It looked like it was dropped.
Yeah.
It's
Like
just,
the cat just kind of wanted out of that little space.
it's just so funny to see this. But so yeah, she's surprised by the cat. She finds a dead body, which looked creepy as hell. In my opinion, just the way this guy looked, the makeup and everything. And then Jason just comes from behind and tosses her through the window. So Jason starts chasing the doctor and Tina's mom in the woods with some type of kung fu spear. It's just a spear with like a long blade going up, probably some type of harvest tool.
I don't know. I've never seen this in any type of woods harvesting kind of weapon. Maybe in China they use this, but I've seen this here. It's questionable where he got this.
I've definitely seen it in like Crouching Tiger type movies.
Yeah.
But he's chasing him with this weapon. The doctor actually uses Tina's mom as a shield, so she gets killed. Tina finds him in the woods later, and the doctor says her mom is gone. So Tina takes off, runs away from him. Jason starts chasing the doctor with this buzzsaw weed whacker type tool.
Wow, he just officially got into that. Like officially.
Power tools.
Power tools, man. That's his first time. He's like, yep, I'm going for the weed whacker, like limb cutter.
Yeah, I heard the motor and I was like, chainsaw? But
Yeah,
no, it was
chainsaw.
the buzzsaw. And they did a lot of the 3D, whoa, where it's like pointing it at the camera. And then he kills the doctor, and this was a lousy death scene. Could have been really cool.
Probably the worst.
Yeah, definitely, because it had so much potential.
So much.
And he just like lightly touches the guy and then pulls away, and the guy just dies.
Yeah.
Very lame here.
That was the lamest.
So Tina finds her mom, then the other kids, and this causes her to snap. She snaps on Jason. She uses her powers to make trees come alive, breaks a power line. Jason falls in a mud puddle, and then she electrocutes him. Of course, this doesn't kill Jason. He comes right back.
And he referenced before in the last movie, that's how he came back in the first place, like super strong.
Yeah, this is what brought him back, so she probably just made him stronger.
So he just rejuvenated him a little bit.
It's kind of like Iron Man when he gets hit by Thor's magic hammer.
Lightning.
It like recharges his batteries.
Recharge.
But she runs into a cabin, and Jason just jumps through the damn window. Like, he is powered up. She starts using her powers to find him. She throws a couch. She throws a potted plant that has a dead guy's head in it.
It looks like he gets headbutted with the head.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's really funny. She's like really trying with her acting, by the way. She's like,
Yeah. I don't think it was supposed to be funny, but it was.
No.
Then she eventually drops the roof on him. She heads back to the other cabin where Nick and Melissa are and says she killed Jason. Everything's okay now.
Yeah, she killed Jason.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know. I mean, fighting him with the powers, I didn't really care much for that. But
Yeah.
I guess if you're going to have a monster like Jason, they wanted to bring in something new. Otherwise, it's just the same thing every single movie.
You need someone with powers.
Yeah, to
Fight
fight
this guy.
someone with powers. Melissa calls her a freak and says she's going back to bed. She hasn't actually seen anything horrible happen yet. She opens the door, gets an axe to the face. Jason tries to kill Nick, and Tina squeezes the hockey mask on his head. We start to see it like tighten, and like this ooze come from Jason's head. It was pretty gross, pretty awesome.
Yeah, white, pussy, like multicolored ooze. It's pretty
And she just continues to squeeze it, and eventually the mask breaks, and we see Jason's face, and he
as
looks
grotesque as ever.
Yeah, it looked pretty awesome. He looks kind of like a zombie crypt keeper,
Yeah,
something like
a
that.
big fat-headed zombie crypt keeper.
So she hangs him using her powers. Of course, this cord drops down from the ceiling. She drags him up and then drops him down the floor to the basement. Of course, he jumps back out, drags her down to the basement, and she uses gasoline to light him on fire.
Okay. I wanted Prodigy to start in the background, but I waited for it. It just didn't happen.
So her and Nick escape, and then we see the house blows up.
Boom, baby!
And then we get the final scene. They're on the dock. Everything's okay. And then Jason comes out of nowhere. He throws her, tosses Nick into a boat. And then, oh god, this is
The worst.
horrible.
This is the worst. This is it. This is how this ended.
So Tina uses her powers or something and summons her dead father, who jumps out of the water, puts a chain around Jason's neck, and just drags him to the lake. And I'm thinking, what the hell just happened? I mean, he was alive. So she can either bring the dead back to life, or there's some type of mysterious events happening here, because he was alive, he was moving, he throws the chain around him, and like you mentioned while we were watching the scene, he looks completely fine.
Completely fine.
Yeah, if
Like,
it's been...
like he hasn't aged a day, and he just took a bath, and like he just got dirty.
Yeah, this was completely absurd. I have no idea what they were going for here.
I have another question. Is this like, why, if they already assumed he was dead without finding his body? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess, I mean, they never found...
They never had his body, obviously.
That doesn't make any sense, because he died in like the shallow part of the lake. First of all. And second of all, they would want the body to bury him at least.
Oh, you would think so. You'd think he'd be loved, but he did smack around his wife.
God, it raises so many more questions, and it was a completely pointless scene. It was the worst part of this movie, in my opinion.
It brought the most questions like out of this. I mean, this might even like come to the level of Tommy Vargas's mother, of like questionable what happened kind of stuff in this movie.
This is worse. This is far worse than anything else.
Because it's just like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
Too
this
many
is how they
questions.
stop him. You see him like as a monster. If they were going to do something stupid, they should have just left the house blowing up.
Yeah.
And then,
At least he would have been blown to bits to have to wait a little while to reform.
yeah, and then we could have found out that he got blown back into the lake, and that's how he survived the explosion, or like you said for the sequel.
Yeah, because, okay, they go to the Manhattan in the sequel, right?
Yeah, the next one.
And I mentioned, like, maybe it would have been cool if they blew him to Manhattan. You know?
Oh, that would have been awesome. But yeah, so that's how it ended. That's how they stop him. A ghost figure or whatever, zombie. And then Tina and Nick ride off in the ambulance. And that was it. That was Friday the 13th Part 7. Like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. It's just you have to get past this stupid ending that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But overall, I would recommend this one. This was a great Jason
good
movie.
one.
Kane Hodder is
Kane
Jason.
Hodder, first Kane Hodder film as Jason.
And you're going to start getting... these are more of the Jason movies I remember.
Yes.
So I do
too.
have fond memories of these. And just watching them again after all these years is... Sometimes I'm wondering what the hell they were thinking with some of this stuff. But yeah, it was pretty good. So I guess that's it, guys. We'll be back next week with Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Goes to Manhattan. 8. So hope you guys can check that out. Hope you like this video. Leave your thoughts on it in the comments below. And thanks for watching.